Story time, story time, story time again. Story time, story time, story time again.
Hi, welcome to Once Upon a Time, the cable story time of the San Bruno Public Library. I'm so happy you're joining me today. My name is Miss Barbara, and I'm going to read some dog stories today. So, some legends and some true stories that I have to share with you. Let's get started. We're glad you're here today. We're glad you're here today. Hi ho the merry-o, we're glad you're here today. We're glad you're here today. We're glad you're here today. Hi ho the merry-o, we're glad you're here today. Yay! Okay, my first story is called Grandma and the Great Gourd. And a gourd is like a big squash, like a pumpkin. And this is a Bengali folktale from India. It's by Chitra Banerjee Devkaruni, and the pictures are by Susie Pilgrim Waters. Once upon a time, in a little village in India, there lived an old woman whom everyone called Grandma. She loved gardening and had the best vegetable patch in the village. Grandma lived by herself in a little hut at the edge of the village next to a deep, dark jungle. At times she could hear herds of elephants lumbering on forest paths, thump, 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 or a giant lizard slithering over dry leaves, cush, cush. She didn't mind because she had two loyal dogs, Kalu and Bulu, to protect her. They also helped her with garden chores. One day, Grandma received a letter from her daughter who lived on the other side of the jungle. "Please come and visit me," said the letter. "I haven't seen you in so long. I miss you." Grandma missed her daughter too and decided to visit her. She was a little scared about traveling through the jungle where so many fierce animals lived, but then she said, "What is life without a little adventure?" She packed her things and said goodbye to her dogs. "Don't worry, boys," she told them. "I'll be back soon. Don't forget to take care of my garden." "Groo, groo," said the dogs. "We won't forget. We'll chase away all the wild animals and we'll listen for you. If you get in trouble, you just call for us." As Grandma was traveling through the jungle, kurr, 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 she came upon a clever red fox. "Ah, Grandma," he said, baring his pointy teeth and smacking his lips, "how nice of you to arrive just when I'm so hungry." Grandma's heart went toop, toop, but she didn't let the fox see how scared she was. "If you're planning to have me for breakfast," she said, "that is a terrible idea. See how skinny I am? I'll be a lot plumper on my way back from my daughter's house because she is such a good cook. You can eat me then, if you like." "That sounds good," said the fox, and he let her go. Grandma walked deeper into the jungle. Kut, kut, kut. In a while, she came upon a shaggy black bear. "Ha ha, Grandma," he said, flexing his claws and sharpening them on a nearby rock. "How nice of you to arrive just when I'm so hungry." Grandma's heart went duk, duk, but she didn't let the bear see how scared she was. "If you're planning to have me for lunch," she said, "that's a terrible idea. See how thin I am? I will be a lot fatter on my way back from my daughter's house because she's such a good cook. You can eat me then if you like." "That sounds good," said the bear, and he let her go. Grandma walked into the deepest part of the jungle. Suddenly she came upon a sleek, striped tiger. "Ha ha ha, Grandma," he said, crouching low and swishing his tail. "How nice of you to arrive just when I'm so hungry." Grandma's heart went dum-dum, but she didn't let the tiger see how scared she was. "If you're planning to have me for dinner," she said, "that is a terrible idea. See how bony I am? I'll be a lot juicier on my way back from my daughter's house because she's such a good cook. You can eat me then if you like." "Well, that sounds good," said the tiger, and he let her go. Grandma reached her daughter's house. She had a wonderful time there, playing with her grandchildren and telling the neighbors all about her adventures in the forest. She worked in her daughter's garden, watering, digging, and sprinkling the ground with her special fishbone fertilizer until the vegetables grew so large that people from 3 villages came to admire them. She ate all the delicious dishes her daughter cooked, and just as she told the forest animals, she grew quite plump. But Grandma missed her dogs. She wondered if they had guarded her garden or if they had let the mice and the birds eat everything up. Finally, she said to her daughter, "It is time for me to go home. Kalu and Bulu are waiting for me, and so is my vegetable garden. The only problem is the tiger, the bear, and the fox are waiting too, and this time I won't be able to talk them out of it with words." "Don't worry," said the daughter, "we'll come up with a plan." The 2 of them went into the garden so they could think better, and when they saw the giant gourds, they knew exactly what to do. The daughter picked the biggest gourd and hollowed it out. Grandma climbed in. The gourd was quite comfortable because its walls were as thick as a mattress, and the rind was as tough as a rhino's hide. The daughter gave Grandma some puffed rice and tamarinds to eat on the way, and stitched the top of the gourd back on tightly and sealed it with rice glue. "Now, no one will know that it's you," she said. She took the gourd to the edge of the jungle and gave it a strong push. Grrr, 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 grrr. The gourd began to roll down the jungle path. In a while, the gourd reached the part of the forest where the tiger was waiting for Grandma. Because he had never seen such a large gourd, the tiger didn't know what it was. "What a strange creature!" he cried. He sniffed around the gourd, but because it was all sealed up, the tiger could not smell Grandma. In a thin, high voice, Grandma chanted, "I'm just a rolling gourd singing my song. Won't you give me a push and help me along?" "I guess I could do that," said the tiger. "I wonder when that old woman's coming back, though. I'm getting terribly hungry." It rammed the gourd with its head and sent it bouncing down the path. Drum, drum, bounced the gourd. "Bop-re-bop," said Grandma. "That was close. It was a good thing the flesh of this gourd is so soft, or my bones would be shaking like the stones inside a rattle." And she ate some puffed rice and tamarinds. In a while, the gourd reached the part of the forest where the bear was waiting. He, too, didn't know what the gourd was. "What a strange creature!" he cried. He sniffed around the gourd, but because of the rice glue, he could not smell Grandma. Grandma chanted, "I'm just a bouncing gourd singing my song. Won't you give me a push and help me along?" "I guess I could do that," said the bear. "I wonder when that old woman's coming back, though. I'm getting terribly hungry." He gave the gourd a powerful swipe with his paw and sent it spinning down the path. Chap-pot, chap-pot, spun the gourd. "Bop-re-bop," said Grandma. "That was close." "It's a good thing the walls of this gourd are so thick and strong, or by now I'd be dizzy as a dervish." And she ate some more puffed rice and tamarind. The gourd rolled and bounced and spun until it was almost at the edge of the forest. Only a little while longer, thought Grandma. Just then the gourd reached the part of the trail where the fox was waiting for Grandma. "What's this now?" he cried, sniffing around the gourd. Grandma chanted, "I'm just a spinning gourd, singing my song. Won't you give me a push and help me along?" But the clever fox said, 101 times I've sneaked into villages to steal chickens, but I've never seen a singing gourd. Something odd is going on here." He grabbed the top of the gourd with his sharp, pointy teeth and shook it back and forth until the rice glue cracked and the stitches broke off. Out fell Grandma. Tup-de-bosh! "Ah, Grandma," grinned the fox, "how nice and plump you look. Whatever were you doing inside a gourd?" "You caught me fair and square," said Grandma. "I guess you deserve to eat me up. But I have a request. Can I sing one last song before you start chewing on me?" "Oh, all right," said the fox, drooling a little. "Just don't make it too long." "I won't," said Grandma. At the top of her voice she sang, "Kalu-bulu, doo-doo-doo, Kalu-bulu, come to me do, Kalu-bulu, I need you." Back in the village, Kalu and Bulu heard Grandma's voice. They knew she was in danger. Quick as the wind, whoosh, whoosh, they flew into the forest, fangs bared, growling horribly. They chased the fox away, scaring him so much that he never came back. Grandma gave her dogs a big hug. "Thank you, boys," she cried. "You saved my life." "Woof, woof," said Kalu and Bulu modestly. It was nothing. When she got back to her hut, Grandma was delighted to see her garden was chock full of vegetables. Kalu and Bulu had done a good job. She picked the freshest ones and cooked a delicious pot of chichuri with lentils and rice, cauliflowers and peas and shiny white potatoes as big as your fist. And together they ate it all up. The end. And that's our first dog story. I have another short one that I want to share with you before our break. It's called "The Bear Ate Your Sandwich" by Julia Sarconi Roach. And you'll have to think a little bit about why this is a dog story. By now, I think you know what happened to your sandwich, but you may not know how it happened. So let me tell you. It all started with the bear. The morning air was warm and bright when the bear stepped out of his den. He stretched and sniffed. The scent of ripe berries drifted toward him and led to a wonderful discovery. After the berry feast, the bear curled up in the sunlight and listened to the buzzing of the bees in the back of the truck. Before long, he was asleep. By the time the bear opened his eyes, the buzzing had become a rumbling. He was being quickly swept along like a leaf in a great river. The forest disappeared in the distance, and the high cliffs rose up around him. Once the rumbling stopped, the bear found himself in a new forest. It was like nothing he had ever seen before. The forest had many great climbing spots. The trees were still itchy here. There was good bark for scratching, and the concrete squished nicely under his feet. There were many interesting smells in this forest, but some of the tasty ones had already been found. There's cats at the fish market and a raccoon in the garbage can. Leafy green smells led the bear to new fun, and that is when he saw it. There it was, your beautiful and delicious sandwich, all alone. He waited to make sure no one saw him, not even the sandwich, before he made his move. It was such a great sandwich, the bear loved it. Just as he was finishing it, he heard slobber, snort, sniffle behind him. He had been seen. The bear was so surprised by all those dogs that he ran out of the park down the street until he spotted a very tall tree. From the top of the tree, the bear could see his forest. It was time to go home. The waves on the boat rocked the bear, and he began to doze. When he opened his eyes, he heard the breeze and the familiar branches and the birds and the bugs' evening song. Well, the bear made it home just fine. So that's what happened to your sandwich. The bear ate it. I saw it all. I tried to save your sandwich. I was able to save this little bit of lettuce here. The bear dropped it off as he ran off, but I couldn't save the rest. I'm sorry to have to tell you about your sandwich this way, but now you know. The end. We'll see you after the break. Welcome back. I'm so glad you're joining me. We're going to continue our story time about dogs. I read you a folk tale in the first half, and now I'm going to read a couple true stories. This first one is called Therapy Dogs, also Perros de Terapia. So you can check this book out from the library and read it in English and in Spanish. Right now I'm going to read the English part about therapy dogs. This is by Kimberly Hutmacher. A Helping Paw. Did you know that some dogs have jobs? Therapy dogs work in nursing homes, hospitals, schools, and libraries. Libraries. I wonder how that works. Let's find out. Therapy dogs are friends to people in need. People in hospitals feel better by petting dogs. Elderly people feel less lonely when dogs visit. Children practice reading to therapy dogs. They think it's more fun to read to dogs than to adults. You can actually do this at the San Bruno Library on the second Friday of the month. In the afternoon, we have therapy dogs come right here, and kids read to them. So you can find out more about that at the library. The right kind of dog. All sizes and breeds can be therapy dogs. The dogs must think and act a certain way. The way animals act is called their temperament. A therapy dog's temperament is friendly, calm, and smart. The dogs are good around new people, animals, and places. Becoming a therapy dog. Some owners train therapy dogs. Other dogs go to classes. Dogs learn to always obey commands such as sit and stay. Hospitals have loud machines. During training, dogs hear these machines and other sounds. They learn not to be scared or bark. Dogs are tested before becoming therapy dogs. They must walk wearing a loose leash. It proves that they follow their commands. Dogs meet new people and dogs during testing. If they stay calm and obey, they pass. Therapy dogs are ready to go to work. And if you check out this book, you can learn about the important words and more information that you can get about therapy dogs. And you can meet some if you come to the library on the second Friday of the month. The next dog story I have is called Lenore Finds a Friend. This is a true story from Bedlam Farm. This is a farm, a real sheep farm. And this is by John Katz. There's the farm. When Lenore came to Bedlam Farm, she was just a puppy. None of the other animals wanted to be her friend. Even when Lenore got older, the other animals were not friendly. The rooster crowed at her, cock-a-doodle-doo. The donkey tried to kick her. Ee-ah. The goats just jeered. The dog named Rose was too busy to be Lenore's friend. Rose had a job. She took care of the sheep. She kept them safe while they ate grass on the hills around the farm. Once, Lenore tried to lick Rose on the nose. Rose did not like it. She had no time for Lenore. Lenore ran off and hid in the grass. Suddenly, she looked up. A grumpy ram named Brutus was standing right in front of her. Lenore gave Brutus a big kiss on his nose. Brutus had never been kissed before. He turned away. Lenore walked slowly back to the farmhouse. She felt so sad. The next day, Lenore waited for Brutus. She kissed him on the nose again. At first, Brutus looked as if he wanted to kick Lenore. No one had ever tried to be his friend before. Lenore wagged her tail. Brutus put his head down near the ground. Lenore kissed Brutus on the nose again. Then she rolled over to show how she wanted to play. Soon Rose came charging over. She barked and nipped at Brutus's legs to make him go back to the rest of the sheep where he belonged. She growled at Lenore. Go away. Lenore went slowly back to the farmhouse. She felt sad again, but Lenore was not about to give up on her first friend she had ever made. The next morning, Lenore followed Rose and the sheep to the pasture. She wanted to find Brutus again. Brutus was happy to see his new friend. He put his head down so they could touch noses. Soon, Lenore was happily eating grass alongside Brutus, and grass is not what dogs usually eat. Rose came running up to move the flock and chase Lenore away, but this time, Lenore wouldn't move, and neither would Brutus. Rose was puzzled. Why would a dog want to be friends with a ram? Rose watched them for a while and then nodded once and looked away. She never bothered Lenore and Brutus again. Lenore finally had a friend. This gave her a new idea. The next day, Lenore brought Rose a toy and a biscuit, and then she kissed her on the nose. Now Rose had a friend too. The end. That's Lenore Has a Friend. And now I'm going to go back to another story of a dog and some farm animals. This is not a true story, but it's a fun one. It's called Find a Cow Now by Janet Stevens and Susan Stevens Kreml. This book is about a dog called, and the kind of dog is a cattle dog. This cattle dog lives in the city with a bird and takes naps. Nap, nap, nap. Dog was tired of naps. He needed to move. Yip, yip, yip. He needed to chase. He needed to round up. Yee-haw! Stop it! Screeched the bird. You're driving me crazy, silly cattle dog. You're supposed to herd cows, not chairs, not rugs. You need a cow.
What's a cow?
Asked Dog. I don't know, replied Bird, but a cow is not in the city. A cow must be out there in the country. Go find a cow now.
Okay, Bird. I'll go to the country to find me a cow.
Dog rode down the elevator. Nobody noticed. Dog walked through the streets. Nobody noticed. Dog walked and walked and walked until city turned to country. There it was. A cow! Yip, yip, yee-haw! Squawk! Cluck, cluck! I am not a cow, silly dog. I am a chicken. Leave me alone. Dog walked and walked. There it was. A cow! Yip, yip, yee-haw! I am not a cow, silly dog. I am a pig. Leave me alone. Dog walked and walked. There it was, a cow. Yip, yip, yee-haw! Well, I am not a cow, silly dog. I am a donkey. Hee-haw! Leave me alone. Hee-haw! Kaboom! Got a good kick from the donkey.
Are you okay?
No.
Need some help?
I want to go home. Woof. They walked and walked until country turned to city. They walked through the streets of the city. Nobody noticed, but then, what's going on? Good grief, is that Eek, beep, honk, honk. Help, honk. Get out of my way.
Wait, slow down.
Go right, go left. Ruff, ruff, yip, yip, yee-haw. Are you okay?
Yes.
My name is Dog. What's yours?
Cow.
Wow, I found a cow. Can you stay?
It's late. Time to go home, but I'll be back. Thanks, dog.
Thanks, cow. Bird, I'm home. Did you find a cow?
Yeah?
Did you herd it?
Oh, yeah.
You did? Was it fun? What did it look like? Was it big? Did you...
Stop it, silly bird. I'm tired. I need a nap.
And that's find a cow now. So that's all we have today, but the library has many, many more books about dogs and cows and sheep and stories and folk tales. I'm so happy that you could join me for story time. I'll see you soon at the library. Goodbye.
So sit me down and let the spell begin. I'll find myself in story time again.